I'm always checking the channel over, looking to see what comments and what feedback I get, and it's great some of the stuff that people say. I had one this week, and they said obviously I'm sponsored by Halterfors, and perhaps I should mention that in the videos. Well, I'm not sponsored by anybody. If I do a kit review or a review of a particular item or a particular brand, it's because I have genuinely used it and I genuinely think it's a good bit of kit. Similarly, I'm not sponsored by any retailers. People don't pass kit on to me and then go, oh, can you do a review of it? Because I wouldn't. If I do mention different manufacturers or different retailers, it's for one reason, because I think they're good. And if it's a retailer, it's usually because I've gone to them over the years and they have always given me very, very good customer service. Anyway, today I'm going to be looking at just such an item, something that I've had for years and something that I think is an excellent piece of kit. Usually I say, well, I've got to have been using something for at least a year. Well, this item I've been using for an awful lot longer than just 1 year. This is the German Army version, I believe they're also issued to the Dutch military, of the Swiss Army knife. Made by Victorinox, or Wenger, or even Ator, and they're made under contract. The first one of these I got was a Victorinox, and I got it when I was probably about 14 or 15 years old. And I had it for many years, and I ended up giving it away. Because I went on to a super duper knife that everybody was buying at the time. And this one that I passed on gave that person many years service after that. I then went on to use all different types of multi-tools, and those were my EDCs. Then one day somebody pointed out, well actually your Leatherman Wave's got a locking blade, so you can't carry it everywhere. So I went back to what I know, which was one of these. And I looked around online to see if I could find a particular Victorinox model that I had, and I couldn't. But then I started looking at the Army surplus sellers, and I asked Kev down at Endicott's if he knew where I could get them. And as with Kev, as always, he's got stuff tucked away everywhere. And he said, yeah, he said, I've got a load of them. Come down and have a look. So I did, and it was a load of used ex-service knives in from Germany. And it was exactly as I remembered it. This is now my everyday carry knife. It goes with me everywhere, and it's a really useful piece of kit. With this knife you get several features. You have the main blade. This one's been modified. When I first got it, it was quite badly chipped and dinked because, as I said, it was a used item. So I used the file and I've just flattened it off. I also discovered that the blade on the original knives, the cutting edge is over 3 inches, which would make it not legal to be carried as your everyday carry in the UK. So I took a file to it and I shortened it and I turned it into a sheep's foot shaped blade. Resharpened it, and it's absolutely great. So I have one main blade. We also have a combination blade, and this has a very good, very aggressive saw on it. There's a screwdriver flathead screwdriver on one end and a bottle slash tin opener just in under the end there. It also has a little nail file on there, which is a roughish surface, and that can also be used for striking strike anywhere matches on. The other thing I found with this, well, the end of the bottle opener, tin opener, is actually superb when used with a ferro rod. It gives you a nice lot of control, and you can scrape really good aggressive sparks using the inside of that. So those are our two main blades. We have our cutting edge and we have our saw blade. What we also have on this is a reamer, and that is excellent if I'm doing things like bark craft, etc., and I want to weevil a hole in things. This tends to be what I use. Similarly, if I've got a tin can and I want to turn it into a billy can, I can push this through the side of the can and it makes quite a good hole. In woodcraft, also, this tends to be used again for spiking little holes in things, and it's a really good, really useful little shape. Also on the back we have the obligatory corkscrew, and quite why the military would want a corkscrew, I have no idea. Mine, however, does get quite a bit of use. What I've also done with mine, because nowadays I wear glasses, I've got one of these little Victorinox screwdrivers that winds into the corkscrew. Another use I found for this corkscrew, if you've got paracord or string of any type that's a bit knotted and you need to loosen it off because you can't get a purchase on it, twist the corkscrew into the knot and gradually pull it out, and it's really good for that, and it's a very useful tool. In fact, I'll probably use it for undoing knots almost as often as I do for opening bottles of wine. Size and weight, well, it's fractionally bigger than one of your regular Swiss Army knives. Weight wise, it weighs very little. It's got a texturised grip on the outside, and it's in this subdued olive green colour. What I've done with mine is I've added a piece of brightly coloured cord, so if it should get left on the ground, I stand a chance of seeing it. In use, well, as I said, this is the second model that I've had, and this one's probably seen about 6 or 7 years of daily use. It's a really useful little blade to have. Yeah, it's not a Scandi grind. Yeah, it's a folding knife. However, it's stainless steel. I can carry it anywhere, and it cuts relatively well. Yes, I'm not going to use it for whittling spoons, but for cutting cordage and doing food prep and all those other 1,000,001 other jobs that you do with your little everyday folding knife, this is absolutely perfect. If you buy them used, well, they don't cost a great deal of money. I think you can pick these up from about £5 or £6, and for that sort of money, well, if you lose it, you're not going to cry yourself to sleep. Similarly, you could afford to buy 2 or 3, have one in the car, one in your pocket, and have one in the kitchen drawer, and they really are that useful. Mine gets used 10, 15, 20 times a day for everything from sharpening pencils and opening packages, even to cutting up vegetables and fish from time to time. So a really useful piece of kit. If you found this review useful, and I hope you have, then remember, hit that like button. If you think other people need to know, well, press the share button. We always like people to share our videos. And ultimately, always subscribe to our channel. I'll try and do a few other kit reviews in the future. As I said at the beginning, they are my own views. They're completely unbiased. I'm not being paid by anybody to say nice things about the kit. If it's kit that works, then it deserves talking about, and I like to let other people know what stuff is good. I spent an awful long time buying all the rubbish that was out there and seeing what works. Well, the stuff that does work is the stuff that I'll let you know about. I'm Neil, and until next time, stay safe.